YouTube space has been set ablaze, bro. Like I think the content creators are about to fight each other, bro. Like that's how real it's getting, bro. And it's kind of insane because I literally said this to you when I said, yo, we gotta go talk about this. I'm like, yo, Errol was such like a popular person and like well renowned that like literally he's divided the YouTube communities. Like if you rock with Errol, you don't rock with Terrence. If you rock with Terrence, you don't, you know what I'm saying? And I really don't think it needs to be that way because it's not really that deep. We don't even really know these people. Some of them know them, but you know what I mean? Like they're not like our boys. So I don't think it has to be that way. But nevertheless, that's the way it is.
Right.
And I see a lot of videos, they're going after Terrence Crawford. They're saying like, hey, obviously the Victor Conti thing, some people are still talking about the glove situation. So people are just talking about, they're essentially insinuating that, you may be doing something fishy, maybe cheating. But my question for you is, in all of this Terrence controversy, deserved or not, is Canelo flying under the radar? This is a guy now who has popped dirty. And I think, what did he blame it on? The steaks he was eating?
Yeah, cow meat.
Okay,
I believe it
okay.
was when he got popped for clenbuterol back in the day.
So is he flying under the radar when it comes to the cheating accusations?
I don't know, possibly. I mean, he hasn't tested positive since then, but I mean, he has tested positive. And for those who are probably unaware, but I think most people are, Victor Conti went on X and posted an image of Terrence Crawford passing a drug screening, right? A drug test, but the dates did not match in those documents. One of the dates were like, I think June of 2024 versus like July of 2025. So, he's chalking it up to clerical error, obviously. And he claims that Terrence Crawford was the one that provided him with the document, right? So even
So he's
more
throwing Terrence under the bus.
Yeah, it's like he's like, yo, he gave it to me. I
Like
mean,
you
I don't know,
photoshopped it yourself.
yeah,
I
right.
didn't do it.
So it's kind of like, for the snack program or even VADA to be making these type of mistakes is kind of crazy. It's laughable. But moving on, I feel like I don't know. I really don't know. I think Canelo might be flying under the radar, but because he hasn't tested positive since, I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt. But then again, you know what? I'm probably not going to, only because Eddie Reynoso recently has been having several boxers out of his gym, his stable, test positive. Right? I think the last one was Francisco Rodriguez, who tested positive. Reynoso claims that, he wasn't really dealing with his nutrition. But prior to that, I know Jamie Munguia tested positive as well. Julio Martinez tested positive. And then before that, I believe Neri tested positive. But after Neri, it was Oscar Valdez that tested positive as well. So this is like in a time span of what? If you're excluding Neri, that's 4 or 5 fighters in the span of 5 years. Like, come on now, something fishy. You know who the head honcho is in that camp? Canelo Alvarez. Listen, I don't want to claim or say like this person did that or X, Y, and Z, but man, where there's smoke, there's usually fire. So I don't know.
Yeah, I do think that's what's been kind of crazy. Is like they've really been piling on Terrence, and like I said, admittingly so, I'm not gonna act like I haven't watched some of the videos. Like some of this stuff makes you raise your eyebrows. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying, like, but the list you who just went down also makes you raise your eyebrows at Canelo. So it's like, hey, maybe nobody's cheating, maybe everybody's cheating. You know what I mean? But I just think the narratives are getting kind of big, and like I'm telling you, like dudes were at each other's neck on YouTube. So it's like I just think it's kind of taken away from the fight. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
obviously the fight's gonna do what it's gonna do. Canelo's been a draw for how long now? You know what I mean? But it's just like I don't know, bro. The community's been divided, and I hate to bring it up, because Errol has nothing to do with this fight, but it just feels like that's what it is. It's like, yo, if you rock with Errol, I don't rock with you. If you don't rock, and I'm just like, he doesn't really have anything to do with this fight. We're still waiting to see what he's gonna come back and do. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a fact, bro. I ain't gonna lie. And I do be wondering what other fighters or what other coaches think behind closed doors. I really, because they be having a lot of info. They have a lot of background information. It's just boxing is a tight knit community. It's not like basketball, football, so it's still kind of on the rise. It's probably not even top 3 sports in the US. So it's really hard to say, but like I say before, until we have legitimate evidence, you know, we can't necessarily, find them guilty. We will have to just wait and see. But
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, Victor Conti just being involved due to his history. We got Canelo's history, but like, come on, making mistakes like that is terrible for the sport.
Yeah, that was pretty, because I just would think it's multiple parties that verify those documents and make sure there's no errors there. Even with the development of AI, you would think you'd probably run something through the
Right.
AI. You know what I mean? So yeah, I mean that was a pretty interesting one. You know what I mean? But have you gotten a chance to see some of Terrence's recent training videos since bulking up? He looks like he's bulked up. He's maybe slimmed down just a little bit. How do you think he's looking coming into the fight right now?
I don't say anything concerning. He's of course he's been in the business for so long that he still looks fluid. I'm just curious to see how the added weight would affect him in the ring, right? Because you can walk around at a certain way. I always say this: you can walk around at a certain way, but fighting at that weight is
Mhm.
completely different ball game.
Yeah.
But he's had a lot of time to prepare. He's had a lot of time to prepare. So hopefully that would, work in his favor. And I'm just looking to just watch an exciting fight. I just want to see an exciting fight between Canelo and Crawford. Crawford really at his best. I don't want to say Canelo at his best because to me that would be an unfair advantage. However, Canelo comes in, he comes in. Since Crawford is already moving up 2 weight classes, right? So,
Yeah.
I would really just want to see Crawford in tip-top shape, and see how he performs.
Yeah. I can't wait to see the fight myself. I got a preview of what the undercard may be. Garbage. So I hope it's not real. But knowing how much they have to pay these guys, maybe the budget just isn't there for the undercard. But I mean, so far Turkey has had budgets for the undercard, but I guess
Yeah.
yeah, this is the undercard looked pretty bad, but nevertheless, I'm just hoping that Netflix bandwidth can keep up and it doesn't do what the Jake Paul and Mike Tyson fight did and crash, and that we could just see this fight clearly, see who the winner is, and then move forth from there. But jump in the comment section, tell us what do you think? Is Canelo flying under the radar? Should people maybe keeping an extra eye on Canelo, or just give him the same energy that they're giving Crawford? You know what I mean?